seeing all 4 kitties. Of course, Stripe and Marty were in the house for a bit. I'm always pleased in the morning when everyone is where they're supposed to be. We don't need to worry Mom. Hi, even when we have spring fever. Come here, Morris. There you go. Good boy. Good morning. Good morning. We got down to 41 last night. So, chilly, but not too cold. Not cold enough to cause any problems. I guess I want to be careful here. The aphids aren't quite as bad as last year. That's probably because I caught it really early and I've been doing maintenance things to keep the aphids under control. But I'm walking around right now and I'm looking under the leaves, and you know, I removed a lot of them when they were in the can't fly stage, and they're easier to remove then. They also don't move around a lot on these cold mornings, so it's a good time to do what I need to do. Like this one right here had 3 with wings on the tips of a couple of leaves, and it's just super easy to reach in and just very gently pull it off and then smush it. This is my ruby red stars. So this is First Ghost. This is one I saw up at Duke Gardens and came home and bought from, I think, Mr. Maple. Now that we've moved it to where it's getting a little less sun, it has, and we didn't fertilize it, it has its variegation back kind of the way it's supposed to, or closer to what it's supposed to. So never fertilize a variegated variety. Well, Dawn's tree is looking excellent now. Well, my oozing nishiki is looking great. I'm praying the deer don't eat it. I'm hoping they'll stay away from it. There. When we were at WRAL yesterday, I was showing Dawn mature versions of this. It got ate back by the deer, you might remember, so I don't see any flowers this year. The little dogwood trees look fine. This is the pink one. Hopefully it'll be pretty like that one at WRAL in a few years. Stripe's over there on the bridge, and I think that's Marty coming behind him there. So they're here this morning, not super close. Out walking with their mama. I guess I should have said, so Michelle can't meet me today, but I am going anyway. Of course, that gives me a little more flexibility on start time. She's having somebody come to fix their air conditioner, so it's kind of important that she be around. Sean must be traveling. Dawn's on a conference call. I'm guessing it's going to go from 9 to 11. And we're definitely going to exercise today, but just, we couldn't take off first thing this morning. Yeah, this Crimson Queen probably needs to come off that stick and be straightened a little bit, but it's after the deer either ran past it and broke it or ate a little bit of it, it's bouncing back. That's the one from Walmart last year. I have to say, this dwarf Sharps Pygmy is actually one of my favorites, and I seem to get the ants under control right away by putting the 2 baits in there. And I have not seen any aphids on this guy, although I keep on checking. Some of the varieties are meant to be super full, like this one, and some aren't. So that's not a indication of health. You'll just see, you know, like this one here, the leaves are nowhere near, this is a red bloodgood. The leaves are nowhere near as dense. And this is just the way this guy's supposed to be. And if you see a red looking Japanese maple out in somebody's front yard, it's probably a bloodgood. You know, as far as nursery stock goes, that's the one they're going to have often. I cannot wait for this Ryusin to get bigger. It has such pretty orange in the fall, and this cascading effect, and This is a weeping variety. You see how it went up and it curved back down. We did, on video, see the female owl leave and come back to the box last night. With it being colder the last 2 nights, it's been really short. But they seem to be doing well, and then of course we heard them into the evening, into the night out here talking to each other. They seem to be out in the front yard or the backyard at various times during the evening. I am seeing that the one azalea is really opening down there. I would like to add some more azaleas to the yard, but when I see Encore on clearance at the end of the season is typical. Or if I were to drive out south of here down toward Broadwell's Wholesale, I'm not going to pay $25 a piece for them at Home Depot or Walmart. Hi, Gray. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Hi. Yeah, let me move that out of your way. Sorry. Good morning. Good morning. It's 10:20 and I'm taking off about my normal time, even though we didn't walk this morning. I did the yard walk. Yeah, Don's going to be in there on that conference call for a while. He and his coworker have been waiting for, it's complicated. There are a lot of players in all these contracts Don does. There's usually IBM and then their company, and then Kyndryl, which has split off from IBM, providing system maintenance and support for the customer, and the customer, of course. And anyway, Don and his coworkers usually get, you know, a certain amount of access to the system that they're working on. They get the access they need to do their job. Sometimes they have to ask for more, or sometimes they're not going to get it and they have to ask one of the Kyndryl guys or the customer guys to do something for them. And anyway, to make the story short, the install, so that they could get busy doing what they needed to do, kept on getting postponed, and they can't do it because they don't have access to the data sets, but they can walk the guy through it, and that's kind of what's happening. So Don said I could have done this 3 weeks ago and we wouldn't have lost 3 weeks, but they're doing it today, so, and it's going fine, and they'll get it done. It's well, Ruby says it's 59, but Ruby's probably not updated the temperature yet. So they're having a push-in tonight at the fire station. I don't think we'll go, but it is kind of exciting. The town has 4 new fire trucks, 4 new engines, and I guess pushing them in is a tradition thing from probably when they had to push them in versus you know, being gas powered or diesel powered, whichever the case may be. Anyway, it's a traditional ceremony when fire stations get new fire trucks, and they're having that tonight at 5. But I think it will be very hard to park over there, and you know, lots of families with little kids are going to want to see the engines. We don't need a bunch of tall adults trying to get our way in there. We'll see, though. If we haven't walked and we're looking for something to do, we might go. They're doing it over here at Fire Station 1, the fire station that's downtown. Now, you know, we have a brand new fire station, Fire Station 4, heading out of town on 55. And understand that, I don't know how it works, but they cover areas outside of the city limits also. Where I lived at my house in Willow Spring was covered by Fire Station 2. And unfortunately, I did have to call them to the house one time, so. And that was pretty quick. That one is up 401 leaving out of town. not too far from Willow Springs, sort of on that side of town. Anyway, that's what's going on in town today. New fire engines. So I am headed to Logan's Garden Hut first. They have 25% off Japanese maples this weekend, and starting today for, I guess, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And I'm not likely to buy anything, but if they had the right thing for the right price, I might. But I certainly will enjoy looking. They have had a pretty good selection last year. You know, I'm not interested in any super huge trees to start out with. Trees that get 6 to 8 feet tall, what I would call a small tree or a medium tree, that's fine for future growth. You know, and I'm looking on Mr. Maple, they, in most cases, the description tells you how tall and how wide and what amount of time. So, you know, 6 to 8 feet in 10 to 15 years is okay. I didn't know. Obviously, that's one of our stealth police cars, but I don't know why the other cars were there. Or Y2, you know, if it's a traffic stop, Y2, or we'll let them sort it out. Anyway, if they had a dwarf and it was small to begin with and it was the right price, I might come home with something. Mostly I'm just going to look around. I might not have mentioned to Don I was also going over to Logan's Garden. We wouldn't want to give him heart palpitations while he's in the middle of a... If he doesn't have to plant a hole, he probably won't care. Darn it, darn it, darn it. This Model 3 has some sort of a green iridescent wrap. One of his taillights is not working correctly, but I also noticed that they've been modified. And I realized the bright light and the reflection on Ruby's windshield you probably can't see. But they draw from the inside out on both sides. So they've definitely been modified some way. I'm sure he can fix whatever's wrong, but he's got one out on the left side, which he may not even know. But I usually am very fond of the purple iridescent sort of space looking wraps. And this is similar, just in tones of green. Well, those are definitely beautiful. I noticed there's a lot along this outside wall over here. They probably moved some up for the weekend because typically they're in the back. Is this Don's tree or something similar? Let me see. This is an Orangiola, and we have one of those. And oh my God, they have $1,400 on it. That's just insane. Just insane. Is this a lion's head is what this one is. And this is, I guess I have a red lion. The lion ones are typically very densely leafed out. That one's $260. Yeah. Well, here's the harp string, looking better than mine. I sure wish mine still looked this good. Here's a butterfly, like at the end of my walkway. Mine is a little bigger than this one even. This one is $300. And remember, they're 25% off today, but still. Yeah, this is more my size. I bet this is Rhode Island red. It's a blood good. Yep, Rhode Island red. It's $80. It's a dwarf blood good is what it is. And I've considered getting one of those a few times. This one maybe Don's. If I can find one that's... Or it might just be another Orangiola. Yeah, it's Orangiola again. Wow, this one's really red. I don't know what it is. This one looks a little bit like the filigree that I planted. I like the ones that come from the one nursery that have the really large, easy to read tags. It could be waterfall. Yeah, lace viridis lace leaf filigree. I have one of these. This is the one that's down by the bridge. Pretty where Dawn put in one of the, not the far one, but the closer brick planter thing. What's this one? Coral bark. Okay, so this is like the one near the bench off the back door. Very nice. Oh, here's some flamethrower red buds or other variety red buds. Very nice. Yep, flamethrower. I could tell. It's like the one I have in the front yard is bigger. I cannot wait for the ginkgo tree I have in the front yard to be at least this tall and bushy. I love it. And there are some older stock back here. These trees, maple trees, Japanese maples that were here last year. So I'm walking back here to see them. Very nice, very nice. Maybe after ours get settled in this year, they'll bloom next year. That would be nice. They're $100 trees. Well, here's a little something. Let's guess. This is, I don't know. Bloodgood, maybe. What's it say? Shinde Shioto something or other. Wow, for a 1 gallon plant. At for a 1 gallon plant at $70, that's pretty steep if you ask me. That's very pretty. Very red. Yeah, it's a bloodgood. That's what I said. If you see a full leaf and it's very dark red, it's probably a bloodgood. Aww. It's a little tiny guy. This is a Katsura. And it has no price on it. I really like that. That is super pretty. Its tag is on the ground. Let's see. Yeah, here's that. Like I said, it's viridis. It's the filigree. It's the very lacy looking one, which I have one of that. It's just very small right now. So these must be butterflies, although these are more creamy than the one we saw back there and the one that I have. God, they're all so pretty. And this is a fire glow. Well, I like our Emperor one that we have down by the mailbox. It really does glow. But you can see here, I mean, look up at that. Stained glass look through those leaves. That's just gorgeous. These are Ryusen. You can see the curve and the weeping habit. Brilliant oranges in the fall. You plant this for the cool umbrella shape and you plant it for the orange tones in the fall. This is the one that's by the metal shed where we planted the new daffodils. The only thing that tempted me is one of these little Rhode Island reds, but not for $60. I just like fountains, and that one's really pretty, and it's $400. To be clear, even I don't like it that much. To be clear, I would love to have a bigger one of these spinner things. I don't know if any of these exactly do it for me. They're nice though. This one's marked 130. Evergreen brand. Evergreen makes a lot of the mini flags I end up with. Well, I enjoyed walking around thoroughly. I'm just sad that tree wasn't more like, well, at least 50, but 40 would have been good, would have been really a good price. I'll end up with one of those Rhode Island reds sometime in my future, just not today. Yeah, we know this is a premium garden center with premium prices, even sale prices. I just had a brand new Model Y come past, and I enthusiastically waved, and I'm not sure if the older gentleman thought that was cool or not. That's all right. I'm cutting through the scenic part of downtown where there's typically a lot of azaleas to get over to Guardian Angel. This was not the shortest path, but it was the prettiest path. And I'm driving. Although I wasn't navigated to the garden hut, and I didn't feel like looking it up. Although I am navigated to Guardian Angel, so I could let her do her thing now. So this is the old middle school on the left. The building is not currently used. Where they moved is that newer school building over by us. I was very comfortable in short sleeves at the garden hut in the sun. It's like 60, it is like 60 out here now. I was looking at Mike Mays's Facebook post last night, our local weather guy, and he said, although we're going to warm up with a few warm days next week, you know, particularly warm, that even into mid-May we may be below average temperatures. Now that doesn't mean frost or freezing. It might not make tomatoes happy though, right? Tomatoes are going to want the really warm soil. So it may be, the tomatoes may not be off to such a great start, but let her go. Anyway, we're in no rush for spring to end and hot summer temperatures to be here, so a little cooler than normal is fine with me. See how she does here. She's gonna go in the right entrance. It looks like she is, and she's doing it like she's a boss. And she came in, woo, and she made my turn. Okay, I'm taking over. She does come in there like she's a boss, though. Trying to get the turn signal off. It's right at 11, so I'm only a few minutes later than normal. Definitely bummed that Michelle couldn't meet me today. Trying to have my big girl panties on about it, though. It's just more fun with a friend. The camaraderie, the back and forth, the joking, the mom moments, you know. I know Don feels bad for me because, you know, a little girl time every week is a good thing, and he recognizes that. Well, they certainly have done a lot to rearrange and better utilize the space, and it's looking really good. Oh, they have switched over to summer picnic barbecue season. So far, I have this outdoor hanging welcome kitty cat sign. Sorry, it's upside down. This is just a little piece of art. It says haunted, please come in. I thought that's good for Michelle's house. And this is a little magnetic box magnetic lid. There's no reason why you couldn't just hang this like normal, but it's got pockets in the front and they think you're going to plant the plant in it. I don't know. There are quite a few new large flags to choose from. I think I'll take home the ladybug and flower one. All the dishes are moving from here to the new shelving that was donated along the back wall. Unfortunately, they're not putting out much new stuff right now because they're all invested in moving the dishes, you know. There's just no time to do everything all at once. Well, me and the other women in the store, we're not happy with the rearrangement of the dishes. It looks like Goodwill now over on that end. I don't know. I know I don't like change. Try to let it float around up here a little bit and see if I can reach a different conclusion the next time. I don't think so. It's got to look nice in there. You got to be able to see over top of things. You got to, yeah, the dishes look nice on the white tables with the fabric stuff that they change out sometimes over there on that industrial grade shelving. No, I don't care if it was donated or free or whatever it was. No.
Hey, guess what? I think I can enjoy this workout today. I get to do this and watch the Masters.
No, it's not Masters weekend.
Masters weekend, baby.
No!
That's right.
It's gotten pretty late, but I'm going to do bags 9 and 10. It's 7:55. I heard the owl. Hopefully she's on video. I ran out there and got my camera. It started to rain, but right at dusk it started. So the other two window sections are complete, and part of the wall on both ends with a light, a handrail. There's a shovel and a broom and a bucket that was added here. This end is just the light and the handrail. And then that was mostly bag 9. Bag 10 did the flowers and these sections here. Also added this top balcony area and finished the stairs, pushed the top one back against the side of this piece. Very nice design elements there, the way they did the stairs and the balcony.